So for this event, you're really not going to need a ton of gear. A lot of the milsim events I go to require a lot of camos, specific era style stuff, MOS style, so like specific guns are banned. But in this event, we're not really going to do that. The only thing stipulation-wise we're going to have on guns is the FPS, and you're not going to be able to do full auto. The only people allowed to do full auto, and we're still kicking the idea around, is LMGs. It's going to be some of the milsim aspect of that. Currently, we don't know if we're going to do that. So we're going to stick to semi-auto. So if you don't have a gun, you're first off going to want to get one. You don't have to go fancy with this, especially if this is your first game or you're getting into airsoft. Being in airsoft for over 10 years, I know what I like. I know what brands I like. I put my gun together the way that I like it. But if you're starting out, don't worry about it. Go get $100-something starter gun off Evike or whatever other airsoft supplier you like to go through. Garage sales are also fun ones to go looking and seeing if you can find anything cool. But yeah, so we'll start here with the basic. You want to stick under 400 FPS. I think that's going to be the limit for this game. We're going to run 400 only, 400 and down only. If you see anything higher on the field, it's probably because they talked to me. The sniper rifles including. So if you have a sniper rifle, bolt action, or Polar Star, you can contact me and see if it's okay to run high power on that. We want to keep it fun and engaging for everybody, so semi-automatic should be fine. Full auto can be gnarly sometimes and very unfair to people, especially with spring rifles that may be showing up. I know I started out with a spring shotgun, and those were some of the best guns that I've ever had. So start here with the gun and see if you can find something you like. I know there's guys out there that prefer the AK platform. You guys are special. I do not. So, gun, first of all. Second of all, for a new guy, especially coming in and testing out the field, you're going to want to get good eyewear. Now, there's some things with eyewear that you need to be looking out for. You can see the foam along the bottom here. This is called full seal eyewear. A lot of places will require you to use this. If you choose not to, and you come out with some random eyeglasses from Home Depot, that's on you. These are Bobsters. They're extremely expensive, but I only use them for one purpose, and I really like them. They're anti-fog, and especially when they sit underneath a hat or anything like that, I don't have any issues. I don't have any BBs that can come in through the sides or the bottoms. I really enjoy these glasses. And they're the second pair I've ever owned in 10 years. So that's how long I keep these glasses. I do have replacements. And this will get into the advanced guys. A lot of times you'll see that safety glasses are clear. Now, clear is fine. I actually really enjoy clear glasses. They also have a foam insert that you can pull out that goes along the entire length of these goggles. But you can see that they are scratched. These guys are abused even more. I don't treat them with the same respect as I do my more expensive ones, but only because they're more replaceable. And that's okay. So clear is really good. Having a tinted one for daytime play and playing in outdoors is really a good idea. If it's an overcast day, you might want to put in some clears. So keep that in mind as a new guy. Along with your gun, you're going to want to get biodegradable BBs. And here, it doesn't really matter if you spend a lot of money, especially when you first start out. You're going to want to get biodegradable. That way you can play anywhere in the country, especially on BLM land or land management areas, because they don't want to have plastic BBs sitting there forever. These will last a lot shorter in time length for degrading. So keep that in mind. Another thing for new guys to keep in mind is a dead rag. I cannot tell you how many videos that I go through and I watch of guys playing airsoft that do not have this, when they get shot, they're supposed to have one of these. It's just a red piece of cloth. When you get shot, you pull this out and you stick it over your head or you wave it in the air. This will be your lifesaver, because people will keep shooting you and shooting you and shooting you if you do not have one of these. So it is overly stressed but underused in all the games that I've been to. I watched a bunch of videos the other day with some friends about Rhodesia Revolt back in 2013 and a couple of the other years that they ran, and very few people had these. They were just sticking their hands in the air. You think that would be enough, but when I'm shooting through a bush or I'm shooting through a tree, I may not see your hand over your head or your hand coming up off the ground as you're laying down. And I'm going to keep shooting you and shooting you and shooting you until I feel comfortable that you're dead. So one of these will be amazing for you. I usually roll with two. They're just pieces of bandana or cloth that you can find anywhere. A red dish towel, if your mom has one laying around, grab that. Yeah, so that honestly is pretty much the basics. You'll see a lot of guys that have mesh masks. Now, that's a great idea to have. The mesh mask itself protects your face from being shot with BBs. I feel it is a hassle, so I don't use that. You can if you're a new guy. I do have full face masks that I usually wear for indoor play. You may opt to use those as a new guy, just so you don't get your head shot. I mean, these things leave scars. So the only other thing that I can recommend that a new guy bring to a game is water. Please, 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 please bring water. The number one health-related issue in an airsoft event is people passing out from not having enough water. If you bring water, and you don't think you have enough to last the whole day of running around and trekking over 2.5 miles within 2 hours, you might want to assume getting a bigger water bladder or something like that. So, yeah, guys, that is about it for new guys, new players. Make sure you get a good gun, or not a good gun, a starter gun. Now, your starter gun is going to be your friend. Your eyeglasses are going to be your friend. Your face masks, your BBs, your dead rags. Those are the absolute bare minimums to these games. I would also say that it's always a good idea to wear and bring on your person snacks all the time, especially if your teammates need them because they're hyperglycemic, or I think it's hyperglycemic. Things like that. You think ahead. Good footwear. Some guys come out in tennis shoes. I think combat footwear is kind of the pinnacle. Hunting boots are a little heavy. Things that drain well when they get wet and breathe when you run. So we'll stick with that for right now with the basics. If I think of anything else, I'll upload it. I'll go on now to the game-specific needs, the things that you should probably have in-game to have on your person. Alright guys, we'll see you right back. Alright guys, putting that video together, realized I needed to show you guys kind of what I look for if you're new to the game, what to buy, and what your subtotal will be, roughly, guesstimation-wise. Typically, I wouldn't, as a new player, spend over $300. Your biggest cost you're going to have is going to be these AEGs, whether you like an M4, SIG 226, or any of those types of things. It's really going to be your biggest cost, and this is the lowest I can go on this video without subjecting myself to some pretty crazy Chinese crap. So I'd probably stick above a $100 price point. I would even say that $200 would be a great place to start for a starting gun, but that's all up to you and what you want to try. If you're just not interested in going higher, I understand. We do have a iron face carbon steel mesh mask here. also optional depending on how you want to play. The BBs itself, I said they weren't necessarily a big deal, but they kind of are. I wouldn't go anything lower than 2.0 gram on these. I mean, this is on sale, that's great, but the higher the grade BB, the better chances you are going to have with accuracy. However, since we're not spending a ton of money on performance, I'm not worried too much about BBs, so putting these BBs that are on sale in my cart is a great idea. $15 is kind of a low price point for eyeglasses, but ASG is pretty much the low entry point mass manufacturer of airsoft gear, so I will trust this. And I think I actually own a pair of these guys. For $15, I can't really beat it. That's pretty great. Batteries. So 7.4 if you're getting a LiPo. You can get NIMS. I think this one actually comes with I think it's a old style battery, but these new LiPo batteries, light-poly batteries, are going to be more universally used. So having a charger and a brand newer battery is kind of essential. Make sure that the type of connector that is on here matches with the other airsoft rifle or whatever you're buying. I would not go above a 7.4 on a beginner gun ever, but 1300 MAH is actually pretty good, pretty decent. That'll probably last you a full day in the field, if not more, depending on how many times you're pulling that trigger. So for a price point of sub $200, that's not bad, and I think that qualifies for free shipment. But yeah, $194, $195 plus whatever shipping is, that'll get you in the door for a game, plus whatever you're needing for game stuff. So on to the next part. Alright guys, for this particular game, the roleplay aspect of it, these are some of the things you're going to want to bring. This isn't a necessity, this one's just kind of one of my favorites. What I would recommend you bring is a money bag. You'll be being paid throughout the game, so depending on where you want to keep your stuff, having a money bag or some sort of cool thing to have on yourself, a penny purse or something like that, I recommend it. So things you will need to bring for this particular game, considering you will be in the woods a lot and you will be running around, you may want to get yourself something like a chest rig. Now these chest rigs are really nice because they have MOLLE front panels and a MOLLE back panel. They can get expensive, so you may not want to grab one just to carry extra equipment and gear. But that's up to you. I mean, guys, try whatever you want. Like I said, the uniforms are basically civilian. If you want to dress up, you can. If you want to put on camos and be a team unit, or a ghillie suit, if you really want to, and be really sneaky around the field, all up to you. But civilian clothing is fine. What I'm wearing right now, I mean, you see me walk in with this stuff on, that's exactly what you should probably be wearing. Other than that, I would recommend, and it doesn't have to be tactical, it does not have to signify that you're pretty cool or anything like that. It could be a hunting backpack, a school backpack. Getting yourself something like this, mostly just so you can store things on the go with you, stuff it inside to move to and from, say, if we have a cafe, move from the cafe to your start zone, or from your area that you're in working to the drop-off point, so you can carry what you're carrying. Or if you find something in field and you want to carry it back to your area. The backpack is a universal thing that you can have on you and use. So the backpack's very good. Now required baseline is an 8-ounce glass of something, or something I should say. This is a 16, but 8 ounces minimal to get your points. Or any of the last ones in the beginning video that I had. This is a portion of the event that will be judged. Having the best looking glass. This is just a regular, nothing special glass, so there's nothing to judge about it. What would be judged, however, is the contents. If this is just like this is, straight sweet tea, then I'm not going to label this for a taste test if I were a player, because it's nothing special. You can use anything to make whatever the contents are in this, but it cannot be straight water, and it cannot be water or Gatorade out of your water bladder. Your brewmaster will mark these that it was actually made or brewed. I don't care what it is, but it cannot be from your bladder or from a water bottle. It cannot be one of these. The container has to be glass, and the contents have to be made from the still. Now, doing that, you can use like the dump-in packets for water bottles. I don't have a problem with that. It's still not strictly water. You can use Gatorade mix. You can use pretty much anything that you can think of for this. One thing that I would really like to see players do is get these strainers for tea and make tea. I would love to judge tea at the end of the competition. I don't care if you put salt in it and make me throw up. I don't care if you put sugar in it and make it taste really good. It is all up to you. So bringing one of these tea brewer things and putting loose leaf tea in it will be probably your best bet of winning the best tasting competition. Otherwise, you can just bring these straight to the check-in point or the drop-off point and get paid per 8 ounce. So yeah, guys, required, that's pretty much it. I mean, you can even use these little tea packets, drop it in there, let it sit for 2 minutes, and then still that thing right out into a jar. Reiterating, glass has to be glass with a lid. Cannot be plastic, cannot be anything else. Glass. If you need one, go down to Goodwill. Goodwill has a ton of these things. People drop them off all the time. They are like $2 a piece. Here in a minute, I'll cut off. If you guys are wondering how much is this going to run me if I want to come out and play, I'll tally up, and then I'll probably put it at the beginning. So, yeah, glass, lid, whatever inside, cannot be strictly water. If you're gonna brew, brew. That's all I'm saying. Alright. Next is going to be the advanced stuff, what I bring to a game when I'm playing as a player. Things that I've, over the years, thought about putting together. So if you have your gun, if you have all your gear, if you only need to grab this and whatever, and you want to know more, or you want to be more prepared for a game, I'll have a section on that right after this. The video is kind of getting long as it is, so I'll try to speed through that, but it is a lot. I have learned a lot over the years as what to carry in my pack, and I try to limit how heavy it is, but pack as much into it as I can. So I'm hoping that'll be a good one. Any questions, leave them in the comments or shoot me a text or an email. I'll be more than happy, or just leave a comment on the Facebook page for the event. Yeah, so the advanced course coming up. Thanks, guys. Now, this is all what I have decided I like. I know other players that have completely different opinions about what they pack, but I'm going to show you guys what I got. So, first off, we're going to start with the chest rig. You don't need one of these. Actually, a lot of guys don't like running them. Totally understandable. Totally get it. Another thing that I've started running lately is a battle belt. I don't have it all put together, just for a quick fashionista style show of what I got. So, with these, I put foam plates in. I don't like running my normal plates. That's what's in right now, so this thing is heavy as heck. I do not run high caps. I run low cap, mid cap style mags. I am a Milsim player at heart. So I carry at least 5 on me and 1 in the gun. That's usually about what everybody likes to have there. On the bottom portion of this, I have my pistol mag extra. In the center, I have my CO2s and my CO2 cartridge. Tool remover. These tools you'll learn and find in the field as you get better. In the games, this is my multi-tool, quick access, keep my knife hidden, and in a pouch. Do not do this. Do not have a real knife on you that's in a visible spot unless you're an EMT. You can get kicked out of games for that, so we're going to pull that off. Water bladder. This is in the advanced section only because not a lot of people can drop, say, $100, $200 on a setup for a water bladder. It's easier just to grab something from the kitchen cabinet, throw it in a backpack, and call it good there. Always have patches. This represents a very awesome team of mine. Next is radio. Radios are a huge portion of this. I have mine here accessible, or it's on the back side here on my belt for easy access. I'm not a comms guy, but I like to have a radio to communicate with my squad leader if I get separated, or if my squad leader's radio goes down, I can hand him this, and I know how to program and do all of those things with it, so I'm a valuable member to my team there. A lot of guys bring a second gun to a competition. I do too, but what I find is that you need a reliable side gun. This one's on its way out, however, for a while was my most reliable piece of equipment. So having one of these when your main gun goes down, in still being able to operate in the field and still reach people at 100 feet, that is a very, very key aspect of a handgun. A lot of people go for what looks cool, what makes them have some sort of tactical ambiance or matches their kit, but I find that the $60 non-blowback guns are still the best guns on the market for a backup, and I will swear by that any day of the week, guys. Non-blowbacks are a lifesaver when it comes to these games, so if you have the opportunity to pick one up, I recommend it. I also recommend having one of these quick battle belts with the quick detach right here. Being able to pull that on and off and attach all of your gear. I have 2 extra mags, 2 extra pistol mags here, my Kydex holster and my pistol. And for my main kit, that's really it. Something that's new is this backpack. Now it's like a $20 backpack off of Amazon or something like that. I just needed a little bit extra space to put a few things in, like spare BBs or silicone spray, and maybe a snack, and it holds my water bladder. So I'm really, really happy with that addition. And it doesn't stick too far out, and it collapses against me really nice. As for kit-wise, that's me being pretty cool. Now, what you bring with you to a game is really important. I already stated before that I bring a backup pair of eyeglasses, and I also bring a multi-day backpack. Now this multi-day backpack has a ton of storage. I take it with me camping. I take it with me in the daytime. Put my laptop and stuff in there, so it's multi-purpose, which is great. Something I did last event that I went to because the AO was so big, so I got myself a map kit. Now this map kit still has the old map in it. I will be sending out maps of the field once we get closer to the game time. If you have that printed out and put in one of these, they are super nice to have, so you can just plan, talk to your CO or whatever, or your still master about what you're doing. So I put that right here against my chest, and it never really moves since it's such a tight fit. It sits right in there, and I don't really worry about it. Shirt got all tangled. Next is a dead rag. I always have that accessible. Always have that thing accessible, but in a place that no one's going to be like, hey, you're dead. So I hide that right there. Another thing I put in my backpack is a tech kit. This is someone else's. You can get all different types of these, but when your gun goes down in the field and you know how to fix it, these are really nice to have. So that'll go in my pack. I have a pair of Oakleys that I wear, say like in a fob or something like that. They're not shatterproof, so if I get caught with them, I get in trouble. But they're really nice to have when the sun's really bright and out. The Bobsters are nice. They're just dark, really dark. So, like I said, I have silicone spray. I make sure that I have the stem, this red one, along with the silicone spray. Usually that's in my tiny little pack back here, along with gas mag O-rings for my gun. They seem to go out all the time, so I keep a few. Some things that my team does, I actually don't have a roll here, or at least the teams that I go with have on them at all times. Something we learn to have is fishing line. This fishing line is fun to set traps up with. Please, please, please pick them up when you're done. I don't want to be seeing this stuff all over the field. Be responsible. When you put this up, go take it down when you're done. Something else along the same lines is a nice wad of paracord, 550. You can find uses for this stuff. It is very useful to have. Please consider putting it on your gear. I do not have a roll of electrical tape, but electrical tape is also super helpful to have on your kit. Mine's usually in my pack. I took it out to do some housework and never put it back, so I gotta go find it. Another thing too to have for me as an advanced player is I wear one of these. I have seen too many teeth shot out, too many kids go home missing the front tooth. So I wear this, and the reason I like this one is it has a massive front guard on it, so my teeth don't get struck. So I'll have it in there, and it's better than a face mask in my opinion, because the face mask rubs up against your glasses, or mine that's attached to my helmet that I have. It just gets annoying with that nose piece pushing up against that eye, so I like these. It's a nice fit. It's like $10, so. Another thing too is the appropriate hat wear, depending on the event. And I'm going to stress this, because a lot of guys just throw a helmet on and go from there, but they don't realize that even in the military, guys don't wear plate carriers and helmets all the time. They wear hats and boonies. I couldn't find my boonie, or else I'd wear it now. Hats are a awesome thing to have, mostly because the sun is a relentless thing and it will burn you. Also, BBs to the head hurt, and I cannot tell you how many times that a hat brim has stopped a BB from going into my face. Please consider wearing a hat. Extra batteries. LiPo safe cases. Cannot stress this. LiPos, light poly batteries are explosive. I have seen them go off in guns. So please, please, please. Extra batteries, charger, in a LiPo safe case. Sound good? Alright, we're past that. Secondary uppers or secondary lowers, depending on how your gun works. Once you get into the advanced stages, you may not like how long your gun is. And sometimes having a long gun is not necessarily the best thing that you can do. So having a short, stubby rifle might be the better option for what you're going for. Yes, that will go in the backpack. A scope. These guys. They are not a necessity. The reason that I have one on my gun is because it goes from 1 to 4 relatively quickly with the flip of a switch. On top of that, it has a very crystal clear view on the inside, even though it's a replica. This is not real. I did not put $2,000 on top of an airsoft gun. I don't want to carry binoculars. Binoculars are a terrible, terrible thing to try to pull out of your pack, especially when you need quick eyes on seeing what's going on. That's why I have one. Second of all is a sling. Now, if you have ever played airsoft without a sling or shot guns without a sling, you should probably get one. It has changed everything for me. My first event, I went with a 12-pound rifle. It was a gas blowback M14, and it weighed 12 pounds. The mag was basically weighed 10 to 12 pounds. My arms were noodles at the end of that. Get a sling. They make a world of difference. Other than that, that's really it, guys. Advanced players spend a ton of money on their gear and their setup. Please entertain the idea of making this for real steel, not just for airsoft. Don't go out and buy the cool sci-fi armor or the cool sci-fi helmets and stuff like that. I like it. I really like the idea. However, it's a lot of money spent on something that does not translate to real life. This whole kit is set up for real steel. I can swap out for my real mags. I can swap out for my fake mags. My real plates are inside. I'm not changing any of the furniture on it to go to the range or anything. So just keep that in mind, especially when you go into these airsoft games. I know a lot of you guys are like, I want to buy all this equipment. So I was putting this video together just so you guys understand. These are what advanced players who've been to games across the country use when they show up. It's what they got. So thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this.